Hi. We're not yet. It's going to hit live. Oh, I don't hear. I don't hear. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Annette.
Oh, you are so welcome. Welcome, Miss Katrina Turman. How are you?
I'm blessed. It's been a challenging day, but I will not complain. Let's
That's
do this.
right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Annette Space. Annette Space is a virtual book club and more. And this month is Partner Month, and I am partnering up with Miss Katrina uh, Turman, who is the owner of Benevolence Home Service. Welcome. This beautiful woman is a nurse and she is a certified senior case manager. And we are going to talk about her business and how she can help those who might be in need of some her services. And we're going to let Katrina talk about her services. And I'm so proud of you. I just want you to know that I'm proud of this new step in this industry. Which is already saturated, but I know that you are a different force and a God-fearing force. So God bless your business.
Thank you so much for that. I must say it has been a wonderful but yet daunting journey starting and opening this business. Benevolence Home Services is a non-medical home care business that helps seniors, veterans, spouse of veterans. We also provide respite care and people who suffer from chronic illness such as COPD, heart attacks, anyone that has experienced a lengthy hospitalization that requires assistance with activity of daily living. What is that?
Wow. Yeah, you said so much. And I know even from my own personal experience, um, just as a family member helping another family member, this is it is an overwhelming position for families. For myself, my brother experiencing his journey with cancer, and Katrina, I had to go and help him, and it wasn't easy. But tell me, he is a cancer patient who needs someone to help him possibly cook, clean. Is that something that your business provide?
Absolutely. We provide, as I said, activities of daily living. So when someone, for us, it's easy for us to go and do our own bathing and toileting and
Mhm.
even light housekeeping. But when you've been diagnosed with cancer or have had surgery, a surgery, or even a lengthy hospitalization. Sometimes coming home to deal with our day-to-day duties become extremely difficult for these individuals, right? So a
Mhm.
lot of times people get those instructions to get discharged from home. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're at 100%. That just means they don't meet hospital requirements anymore, right? So, and being a nurse and in the ICU for a long time, I saw how collaboration helps the outcome for the patient. So when you have social worker, when you have a dietitian, and actually when you have that caregiver that will be there to discuss plans afterwards, help take care of that, what that does is help the hospital decrease readmissions
Mhm.
almost by 30%, which is a lot because a lot of times hospitals find themselves having these same patients readmitted because of what? They develop a fall or they didn't follow the right discharge instructions because they became overwhelmed. And we're so excited about getting
Mhm.
home, but sometimes we don't realize that we haven't completely recovered.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Now, your service, is it 24 hours or how does that time
So my
frame
service
work?
range from 20, I can provide 24 hours of service, or as little as 2 to 3 hours of service. So I do, just because I like to provide a continuity of care, I try to have a minimum of 4 hours with a minimum of 16 hours a week. That way I can ensure my client and their family, as well as my caregiver, that same caregiver every day, which that's continuity of care, right? You don't want to have to switch it up, especially with COVID going on right now. We want to just have that one person that we become familiar with and we trust, to come to our home and to take care of our loved ones. So for me, I noticed that that is the best approach, opposed to just having someone for 2 to 3 hours and the caregiver is really not that happy. And they have to try to, find someone else to make up for that difference in time, regarding staffing and pay. So that's why I require a minimum of 16 hours a week.
Awesome. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's go back to Miss Katrina. I know you are the brand of Benevolence Home Service. And being a nurse, my heart just like, wow, you still wanted to serve people even after being a nurse and seeing the different patients and the different situation they find themselves in, and you find yourself in as one who is their server of helping them get well. Wow. So I'm kind of like like overwhelmed to see. It's a passion. I know it has to be a passion. It has to be a love for someone, and it's good because it's your profession and you know your care. I have seen you in action. I really have, and you are dynamic. So, but to still go on to make it an extension of your business, to be I mean, form this into a business to help other people. My hat goes off to you because it could be a lot of stress in that area. How do you maintain and keep it together? Because you do keep it together. You really do. You don't let them. I mean, I don't see sweat falling from you. At least you don't show the
Right.
people, and that's a good thing. You really are. You stay professional, and I have seen you in a very intense moment with your colleagues in the private times. Uh, and I always was like, that's a powerful girl. That's a powerful lady. Look at her. So how is it? How is it? Where is your challenge in this industry?
I will be honest. I actually have two major challenges. The first one is obtaining and maintaining dependable, reliable, caring caregivers. I want my brand, which is benevolence, which is to me overall wellness of my clients. So I want to bring that into every household that my caregivers are representing. That's representation of me. And that has been a challenge, is to find someone skillful with the passion, because it's not easy. It is actually a pretty difficult job to go into someone's house and
Mhm.
help them with personal care, right? Someone has to have a passion and dedication to do that. And considering it's not a licensed field, the pay is not that great. Could it be better? Absolutely. And that's something that I would like to change. I would like to change because it's as important as the care that you receive in the hospital. Um, my other challenge is being able to balance my family with this current new busy life that I have. And I, that is more important than anything, because I still have to be able to be there. I'm a wife, I'm a mother. And with those things, I will never allow the business or my passion or my drive to bring my love to help others destroy or ruin that. So Benevolence has been up and running since October 31st, Halloween. Believe that. We are licensed, we are bonded. But yes, the biggest issue is dependable caregivers and maintaining the balance. And I'm sure every businesswoman or businessman can probably say the same thing, trying to find that equal balance between family and
Excellent.
business.
Excellent. So you could be, so everyone out in that space and in our on our space right now, please, if you're looking for employment, as I think the criteria is to be passionate about what you doing, because you are serving people who really, really need your help. And if you that person, please reach out to Katrina. Her information is on Annette Space website and is also on her personal business site as well. So click on the link on my page where you see the, yes, we got some hearts out there. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Click on that, on her link, and you will go right into the space of benevolence home services. And please reach out if you need a job. This sister is providing employment for
Yeah.
passionate people for this industry. All right. Sometimes it's not about the pay, but the reward is greater. And I have found myself when I was a contractor, my rate would go up and down. But when I go into prayer, I remember one time God said, God, this pay is like, working at wherever. I'm not going to offend anyone, but working where it's not paying me exactly what I wanted to be paid. But what happened when I got on that job, Katrina, things changed. People saw my abilities, and I was able to be pushed or put in other areas that raised my pay. But if I hadn't taken the position, I would have never had that opportunity to move in different areas. So sometimes one step is another step and another step, and it shows your one's faithfulness. Sometimes a lot of people say, I want a job, get that job, and they complain the entire time, but they forget they couldn't pay their car note. They forget they couldn't pay rent. And all I need is like $75 for a good meal. So I'm not saying sometimes, it's not about the pay, but it's about the service that you provide to someone, a mother, a father, a brother to someone else. And the reward is greater.
That is the one thing I will say for this journey. I actually feel like I am doing what God has in store for me, or had planned for my life. It hasn't been easy, but considering the clients that I currently have with my doors not being open that long. And yeah, have I had some trials and tribulations, but the fact of the matter is that when I feel like you're doing something that God feels like that's the path he has set for me, that will work out. And I'm hoping to change the way that people look at home care services. I'm hoping that the caregivers realize that this is a lucrative business, that it is a rewarding business, and we can change that by increasing pay. I also provide education for my personal assistants so they can become certified nurses assistants. If they do want to go to nursing school, I hope to be a mentor for those that are interested in that path. It's just so many different avenues. You just don't have to stop at personal care assistant. Always just consider that a stepping stone, and you never know where it can lead you.
Wow, look at that. Excellent. So again, for our listening audience out there, I am excited that I have Miss Katrina on a line with me. Is Partner Month, and her company, uh, no one really prepared for someone to come in their home, to take care of them. My brother, he said, they call me Red. He said, Red, one day I was feeling great, and the next minute I had no energy. And so my thought before I said that, where I was going is, Katrina just indicated and confirmed that this is an open space for those who want to be in this field, this nursing field, nursing assistant, or this industry. So I really encourage you all to reach out to be a part of this great team if you fit. It may not be a fit for you, but it might be a fit for someone you know.
And truth be told, is we all are going to experience a time in which we're a caregiver for someone.
Mhm.
And it's it's a hard, task. You get overwhelmed, but when you allow all that frustration and just take a moment to realize that the position that God put you in, it's a blessing. So with that being said, I just want to bring awareness that this is as important as being admitted into the hospital. I just want people to know, just because you are discharged doesn't mean that your recovery is over. Actually, is actually just beginning. This is where you need to go home and rest and allow someone to be a caregiver for you. It doesn't have to be long term. It can be for a week. It can be for months. But at that point, now you're allowing your body to reach its optimal recovery, opposed to rushing it and coming and maybe even developing a relapse, and once again back in the hospital and starting that process all over again. There's other options, and that was the reason why I wanted to take this moment with Annette to just share that, not so much about to, I guess, bring awareness to benevolence, but just bring awareness to all businesses that provide non-medical service, that it's needed. It's part of recovery. It's part of healing. It is part of overall wellness. So just don't negate it. Don't assume you don't need it, because every family member is not a caregiver, and those that are, it is truly a blessing to that family.
Yes. You know, you made a point. Everyone in the family is not a caregiver, and some have to become one.
Yes.
God rest my brother. He passed away, my brother Terry Wilson. I wasn't his caretaker, but just going to the nursing home and visiting him and just making sure that, you know, they're giving him his medication. You know, he had a whole list of complaints about the facility. So I had to help address those issues. At the
Absolutely.
same time, I know my brother, right?
You were an advocate for him, and who's best to be the advocate than his sister?
Exactly. And he was going to come home, and my sister was going to be his caretaker. But he passed before that can happen. But it's not always easy, you know, caring for people. I realized that a lot of times I had to repent, and he was saying sorry to me for being
Yes,
mean.
that
And
anger sets in, right?
you going back and forward, and
Yeah.
but for someone that's not inside the family, they give them more respect.
Exactly, because they understand the process, right? And they're outside of the family, right? So they can look at it in a different entity. They're not as involved. They're not as invested. They're invested in the client, but you're emotionally invested. And sometimes that plays more of a toll than the physical work that's
Mm.
required as a caregiver. Mentally, when you're dealing with a loved one and you become responsible for all their needs, you become overwhelmed physically and mentally. And that's why I say it's very important, you know, at discharge, that this is something that's, you know, decided on and there. So when that loved one do come home, that the family can actually deal with whatever happened. If it was a newer diagnosis, or now there's a diagnosis of a chronic illness, to allow everybody to process that. And it's hard when a caregiver is a family member and they're processing the family member's new diagnosis and having to be their caregiver. So they get angry, and sometimes they say things, I don't want to deal with you. I've been there. I know.
Oh wow.
I, yes.
You said something that was really a key, and you said that um, you let me paraphrase it just a little, because I can't remember right on, but you said something about that other caregiver, the professional caregiver, is pretty
Yes.
much detached
Detached
from, and they
from that
don't have all
emotional.
that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They're there to do a job, right? And they're very trained to do their job. So they're not emotionally attached when your mom or your dad is not this person. Let's just think about dementia, right? And you're trying to help your mom, but she can't remember your
Mhm.
name. Do you know how hard that is for a
Yeah.
caregiver? Like, you know, don't make me cry, because this is just stuff that I recall with my grandmother, right? That the things that you once enjoyed together, you have to find a different way of responding to that person. So that takes a moment. And as you say, sometimes it takes repentance. Sometimes you just got to go and pray to figure out how you're going to deal with your new norm. Right. This is the new norm. This is not mom like she used to be, or it's not grandmother how she used to be. So we have to figure out how to deal with them on that level. And it takes time for a loved one to process. So if you have someone in the home immediately there, when they come home, it gives time for that loved one to process it, because a lot of times they're not going home alone, or if they are going home alone, someone is still there in the household watching over them. Right. So,
and another wonderful point, I I love it, because it's passion, and if you see your tears, it means that you're going to care for someone as though it was your grandmother. As it was somebody that's, you're showing love. So it's a sign of so much love and strength through your tears. So that's what I see as you're tearing up, and you got me over here tearing up, emotional. But we're going to let Katrina take a second. But it is very important that Katrina mentioned something, and when she come back, I have her talk about.
I'm here.
There she is. One of the things Katrina just mentioned about is having that talk with family members now, while we are healthy, while we don't need care. A lot of people, we must get our wheels, we must get our insurance together, and these are hard conversations. But you mentioned these are things we need to talk about. What do you want to do if this happened? I have 2 daughters. I love you all. If you all listen, I love both of you all the same, but I know which one I can call first and which one I got to wait on.
Exactly.
And so we had this talk. I had this talk with my daughter. And I'm working on it even better to have this talk, because something when my mom used to try to have talks like this with me. I was like, Mom, don't talk like that. Don't talk. And we cut it off. Exactly. But I realized if we wouldn't have cut that off back in the day, don't say that, don't say that. They knew what was going on with their bodies. But with my daughters, I'm trying to have conversations. It's hard to have those conversations about someone taking care of you, or even getting ready, years, just getting your life, your things together now, so they won't have to figure it out later. So,
are you comfortable with going to a nursing home? Or are you not? And if you are not, then what do we need to do to try to have things set up so when that time, or if that time comes, that we know what mom or dad or auntie or, the next family member may want. And from what I have experienced in doing all this research to open a business, people want to be at home. People do not want to, and I mean, just think about this. For my experience as a nurse, and actually during the first pandemic, I was sent to the ICU, and not to be able to have your loved one there during a pandemic as you're dying, and you have to hold the hand of someone that you don't know or not familiar, because you're not allowed to come in the hospital. It's just, to me, was the cruelest and the most hurtful thing ever, right? But this is what we had to deal with. But now we know that there's options out there. And I'm not talking for someone that's critically ill, because of course with that requires an ICU bed. That is not an option. You do have to stay there. And it's just sad that you can't have your loved ones there. But for those that do have a choice from going to a long-term care facility to home, that those are when the options are in play.
Awesome.
Yes, I am glad that you had me here. I was very nervous, if you guys probably can't tell, about doing this, but I'm glad that you invited me. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to just, I guess, get it out there, my passion, what I do, and what I'll continue to do for a long time, because I am a nurse and I love being a nurse.
Awesome. And you said something earlier, and I think I said it earlier, and then you said it, I said it, and so it's out there. You changing the industry, and the industry of love. Many people, I have seen healthcare workers who didn't care. And
Exactly.
so that's changing the trajectory of this industry.
Yes.
There is a lot of caring, very caring healthcare workers out there, a lot of them. But we don't need one that does not care.
Exactly.
And the reason why is because that could be my mom, well, my mom passed, that could be my loved one, that one person don't care.
Yeah.
And sometimes the caretakers need some caretaking.
Yes. Yes. And with Benevolence, we do yearly competencies. And if I notice that there's reinforcement that's needed, if we need extra training, that is also done. We'll be pulled out the field for retraining. Just because, for one, I just want them to be confident, because if someone's confident in what they're doing, it'll show, right? And
Right.
the family wouldn't be concerned or worried that this person don't know what they're doing while they taking care of my loved one. So I don't want that.
Good.
I don't want
So,
that.
so Trina, let's see if we can have maybe a question or two
Yes,
from those who are watching. And I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. And if you
please
all
do.
have someone has a question, please go ahead and type it in. I'm not sure where it probably come at the bottom. So if you have a question for Katrina, please, Miss Katrina,
Yes, Mr.
please, you can ask your question. She's here to ask. And I want to wish everyone a happy new year.
Yes.
2020, we made it out of 2020, but 2021, it might not be as hard, challenging, um, heavy as 2021. But guess what? It might be. So whatever state we find ourselves in, let's first find strength within ourselves, to first go to God to ask for more strength. I think I got a question. The question is from Felicia Page. How can our family members get in touch? Or how can family members get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me by going to my website. It's info@benevolencehomeservices.com. I can also be reached by phone 24 hours a day at 708-304-0296. But majority of the information that you may be seeking will be on my website. And I think that will be the best source of information.
Excellent. And another question pretty much says, yes, she was making a comment. Yes, and some family members are not able to take long period of time off work to care for their loved ones. Yeah.
Absolutely. When when you're caring for a parent or someone, you may have your own family, right? You have your own job and you just don't have the time or the finances to do that, right? So we have to come up with solutions. And I just don't want you to forget that there is a solution to keep your loved one at home. And I know people may be saying, how do you pay for this? Long-term care insurance.
Good, that was one of the
Some
questions out there.
how do you pay for this? Majority of the pay is private pay. Long-term care insurance does cover it. I believe, I'm not for sure, but I heard that Medicare is coming up with a portion of their benefits to pay for non-medical. And Medicaid also have a waiver that pays for non-medical home services. Unfortunately, Benevolence doesn't take the Medicaid at this current time.
Awesome. Any other questions out there? So you can reach, again, Katrina on Benevolence.
Info at benevolencehomeservices.com.
Excellent. And on the website, you have the telephone number and all that. Excellent. Any other questions?
Oh, I am so sorry, guys. I gave you my email address. The website is www.benevolencehomeservices.com. I am so sorry. So once again, the website address is www.benevolencehomeservices.com.
Excellent, excellent. So, Katrina, anything else you would like the audience to know? Because this is going to go, it's live right now, but it will be played often on our sites. And is there anything you would like, any misconceptions that you know that's out there and you would like, one or two, you would like people to really know? Um,
Being a home care provider before as a nurse, a lot of people just kind of felt like the service isn't good. Or the nurse just comes in and, you know, have someone sign their paper and they don't really take care of their loved ones. Um, Once again, that's a misconception. All nurses are not like that. There are some that are like that, but I do just want to specify the difference between my agency and a skilled nursing agency. I provide non-medical home care services, not a skilled service. So we do medication reminders and we do activities of daily living, which is bathing, toileting, light housekeeping, and laundry. And I just want people to know that Benevolence tries to do a collaborative approach to non-medical health care. And by doing that, we will increase patient compliance with treatment plans once they're at home. And that helps ensure no hospital readmission within 30 days. That is a guarantee. So if you are considering non-medical home care, please, you know, think of Benevolence Home Services.
awesome. Thank you for clearing that up.
Thank you so
for clearing up. You're welcome. I had another question. Oh, with the COVID, the pandemic that's going on, how are your, tell us about how you're dealing with it for your business.
Okay.
And
Yes. So all my personal care assistants, they are required, of course, just like anywhere, is to wear masks for their entire shift. Goggles. They're also required to take their temperature prior to entering the home. I do have a software. It's an app that's on their phone in which I'm able to track my caregivers when they arrive. But now since COVID, there's once they arrive at the client house, there's a pop-up that says, I need you to take your temperature. So I have their temperature screened prior to admission, and then they have the same questions as every other entity has, which is, do you have a cough, cold, are you feeling, you know, runny nose, those things. If they answer yes to any of those, they are not allowed into the client's home. I notify the client, and I have a 2 to 4 hour window to get replacement caregiver in that's asymptomatic.
wow, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for being on Annette Space.
Thank you for having me.
So proud of you, and I know this space that you in is going to bless all your clients.
Thank
because
you so much.
I know you bring excellence.
Oh
You
my
really
God.
do bring excellence. I know you bring excellence.
I so appreciate your kind words.
You do bring excellence to everything you do. And so God bless your business, your clients, and those who will work with you. But before we end, I would love to ask you all to join us next month. I will be interviewing Mr. Zachary Lavender on his new book in 5 days. So Katrina, you are part of my partner month. And Katrina and I, in a few years, talking about literacy for her clients in some format of reading. So we're working on that, collaborating together, possibly sooner than later, but we're going to let, you know, the proper preparation for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You could definitely.
Excellent. So everyone, any more questions before we close out? No more questions? All right. Thank you for joining Annette Space Virtual Book Club and more. Again, tune in February the 14th. That is Valentine's Day.
Yay.
Yeah. Not that I won't have a date, but Mr. Zachary will be my date at 5 o'clock. We'll talk about his book, discuss his book in 5 days. Yes. Let me give a little clip of what it is. In 5 days, it's his testimony And it's also, he was on dialysis. Uh,
Wow.
so anyone out there who have been on dialysis or are scheduled to be in 5 days, I have read his book, and he goes in detail about the book. He gives the terminology of every step he went through, and it's a really, really good book because from his testimony perspective to his experience, I don't want to give it all out. So get the book.
All right.
Those, get the book. It is on Amazon, and it'll be easier for us to just tap in and talk to him about his book because you have already read it. And it is a pleasure and honor to have him on Annette's space. Again, thank you all for joining Katrina and I tonight. We really, really, really appreciate you all. Katrina, I enjoy it from start to finish, from delay to restart. So thank you so
You welcome.
much. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Okay.
See you next month. Bye-bye.